friends, I'm Stephanie Hansen. Let's go! I've been cooking, eating, and talking about it for years.
This is amazingly good.
Now I'm inviting you along for the ride. Stanley! It's the bomb.
Something you cannot live without.
Meet the chefs, home cooks, restaurateurs, and bakers honing their craft.
Everything is going to blow your taste buds up.
And try new recipes with me in my kitchen. It's simple, it's easy, that looks amazing. There's always something delicious to share. These buds got a taste! These buds got a taste! Let's go! This is Taste Buds. I love a local bookstore Taste Buds, and my favorite part is the cookbooks, especially when they're carrying my book on the shelf. But we have been waiting for the Food Dolls cookbook, Pretty Delicious. Alia and Radwa are friends of mine. They are social media influencer royalty. And we got a chance to go to their house in the Twin Cities and make a couple dishes with them. And then like we do, Taste Buds, we took one of their recipes home and I made it my own. I'm so excited for you to meet the Food Dolls. They are two sisters. They're awesome. Let's go. Hey Taste Buds, we are here with the Food Dolls, Alia and Radwa, and today we are celebrating the launch of Pretty Delicious, which I'm telling you looks pretty delicious. Writing a cookbook is no easy feat, and capturing like your family's recipes, your family's heritage, your stories. You guys, this is gonna be amazing.
I think it's so surreal. Like we've worked so hard for so many years, and to actually have something physically that's out there in the world, sharing this with our friends and family and our followers is something that we're gonna remember forever.
Did you just always have the love of food in your family?
We grew up around food. Like that is our growing up. It was always around food.
The love language is food.
And Alia and I actually, we ran away. We didn't want to cook and we didn't want to spend any time in the kitchen. It wasn't until we got married and we had to have dinner on the table. And then we would call each other every single day and we would ask each other, what are you making for dinner?
Okay, because that's funny, because for a lot of people, that question throws them into like, they can't even deal. They're like, if one more person asks me what's for dinner. And you guys are real sisters, so that was just how you shared and you communicated. At what point did you start like documenting?
It was probably after I had my youngest and she had her oldest.
We literally just talked on the phone one day and we're like, let's make food videos. Let's show people that we can make really easy recipes that we make for ourselves at home and show people that you can do it too.
Yeah, and that is exactly what you've done too. You have, I think we just calculated over 8 million followers.
It's crazy to think of when we actually say it out loud. I think we get lost in the number because you don't realize it, but when we actually sit there and talk about where we started and where we are now, I mean, it's amazing.
It's incredible. Do you ever look at your first video and just die?
Oh my God, we send it to each other all the time and we're like, what were we thinking? Or what was the thought process behind this?
It's amazing just to see the progression from where we started and how we've kind of grown and evolved.
Evolved so much.
And
You're probably wondering who the like gnome is behind me. Rachel, I just called you a gnome. You're a gnome. Rachel today is helping us for the cameras, but when you guys do this on your own, it's just literally the two of you in your kitchen, right?
Yep, it's just us.
All right, so today we're gonna do 2 recipes together. What are we gonna make?
We're making marinated tomatoes with whipped feta and yogurt.
This sounds like a great recipe for like all the gardeners out there that are, you get like tipped upside down with cherry tomatoes in gardening season.
And it's just such an awesome appetizer to make because you could just assemble and go. That's it.
And then we're gonna do a chicken recipe.
Yes, we're gonna make saucy chicken and potatoes.
Okay, you guys are saucy, so I like that. Let's make your feta dip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dip,
baby, dip.
That is like the fanciest. It's a Vitamix. I love
The
that.
best Vitamix ever. We love it. We use it all the time.
So this is literally 2 ingredients. It's just yogurt and feta cheese. We do like the block in the brine just because it stays nice and moist and it doesn't have anything added to it.
I like it because feta people don't realize like the crumbly feta has like an anti-caking agent, right?
It does, yep.
And that makes a difference in the smoothness of the dip.
So it's only a 1/4 cup of the yogurt, so it's not a lot.
And then you use like plain
just
full fat.
plain full fat. You gotta have the fat.
Oh, look how delicious that looks.
Have the fat. And then feta cheese.
Only 1 block. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for this batch is just 1 block.
Ooh. OMG, that is a really good blender. Holy cats. Okay, this is gonna be, real delicious.
Pretty delicious.
Pretty delicious. So normally when you're making this and filming everything, about how many times do you end up making it?
Usually twice, for sure, a recipe test, but if it fails, then we got to do it multiple times.
What is the most you've had to make something?
I think the baking, and I would
Baking.
probably have to say like the most we've ever had to redo a recipe, maybe 6 times.
The sticky toffee pudding, I think.
Oh, that
Oh,
one. That
yeah,
one.
and that's in your book, right?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And we're gonna add our tomatoes into a bowl and some parsley. We're gonna add some salt,
Salt makes the world go round.
and then we're gonna add some pepper, and then good old olive oil.
Yep.
Okay, so I have your mint here. You just
Okay.
did the parsley.
And then do you wanna chop up some basil for us?
How much basil?
It's about a fourth, about the same amount as the mint.
One thing about your recipes that I have noticed is how many fresh herbs you guys use.
Yes.
Yep, we love fresh herbs. It really just gives it that pop of flavor and freshness.
The way Ali and I came about this recipe is growing up in Egypt, we always had something called gibna bil tomatim, which translate to tomatoes and cheese.
Gibda to multimuch. Did I do it right?
That's perfect. You said it perfectly. So we decided to do a little twist on it because it's feta and tomatoes. So we did it with like a whipped
Yeah.
vibe, and then we put the tomatoes on top, and it's literally our favorite thing.
It is so delicious, actually. And you do have a lot of videos that use variations on this.
Yeah. And it's also great to let this marinate just for like 15 minutes because it really helps those flavors pop.
Yes. All right, we've let our tomatoes marinate.
And we're just gonna top it over our whipped feta. And this is the fun part because this is when you can make it look really pretty.
This is really easy for like if you're having a dip party or you're having a dinner party and you need just like one thing for when people come for that first cocktail.
Yep.
And you know the best part is
Eating
you can
it?
make it ahead of time and eating it.
Yes, that you can make it ahead of time. I always leave everything to the last minute.
And then you gotta make it
Pretty
look
garnish.
pretty.
Okay, it is the time where I get to taste. Are you nervous?
Not at all. We are so confident in this. We just can't wait to see what you're gonna say.
Well, I need a full on like chip to dip ratio. Wow, so creamy and salty with the marinade, with the salt, with the herbs. One chip is good.
You have to go for round 2.
This is chip claw. You use one chip to
Oh,
get
like a sandwich.
Yeah, so it's like one is to get everything on there and the other one is the vestibule of which to make it so you can eat it. Treat them like salad tongs.
Can I do it like a?
You know how they have
That
like,
defeats the purpose. That's not a claw, that's a sandwich.
no, you like, yes, just like how when you have those special salad claws.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
And then eat it like this.
Yeah, double dip. Oh, yeah, that's the move. Pretty delicious. All right, yum. I can't wait to see what's next. All right, well, we had the amazing dip that all the crew have eaten, so you didn't see the behind the scenes of that. We just like housed the whole bowl. Moving on to dinner. So is this saucy?
It is so saucy.
Saucy chicken legs. You've got the leg and the thigh connected. I love that. That's a nice rustic way to go. Can we just first look at something here? Like this looks like a chicken. Just like
You have
when
to
you
go
buy
like this.
it looks just like a chicken. Also, we've got all these seasonings. I'm gonna see if I can guess.
Okay.
So this is turmeric.
Yep.
We probably have an onion powder and a garlic powder.
Yes.
Pepper,
Yep.
kosher salt,
Okay.
cumin.
Nope.
Okay. Is this, do we have sumac?
There is sumac
Yep.
there.
And some kind of a pepper. So maybe like a cayenne pepper or
No,
smoked
smoked
paprika.
Yes.
Yep.
So then what's that?
Coriander.
Coriander. Isn't coriander and cumin the same thing?
No, coriander is
seed.
the seed of actually cilantro.
Okay.
So-
I was very close.
You did
But-
such a good job.
And I loved that you had sumac on there because not a lot of people are familiar with that herb and it's
Delicious.
very citrusy.
Yep, it's bright, it's lemony.
Yeah, and it feels really like it's probably something that would be in a lot of your food.
Yes.
I
we
love
use
it.
a lot.
So literally we're just gonna like dump and pulse.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had red pepper and jalapeno to start.
Yep. And then some Roma tomatoes, red onion,
Lots of onions, I love it.
And another onion.
green onions or scallions. Honestly, the longer it marinates, the better. So you could actually make this in advance and marinate it and then just pop it in the oven when you're ready. Or you could just give it just like a quick 20 minutes.
Yeah, all good things are marinated, aren't they?
Some tomato paste,
Ooh, I love tomato paste.
some pomegranate molasses.
Is there something that people could use besides pomegranate molasses if they don't have it?
Honey.
Oh, okay.
So we added lime juice, and now we're gonna add just some plain whole milk yogurt.
I love all the
It
yogurt.
gives a tenderness to the chicken.
Buy spices. Do you talk to your food when you make it?
No.
I am the only one. You talk to each other because you have each other. I'm talking to the food because I'm alone. This Vitamix food processor is pretty ingenious. I love the color. It almost looks like we're making like salsa.
Now we're gonna add the chicken over our potatoes.
So I love that this is, I mean, we had all the little bowls for everything for TV's sake, but really you're just using like one dish to cook everything.
Oh yeah, we like to call it ditch the dishes.
I like it. Nobody needs more dishes, right?
Okay, so Stephanie,
Yes.
let's
Marinade.
get this marinade all over our chicken and potatoes. Can
Oh, I have to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, who would do it on your videos? Would you fight about it?
Absolutely,
Do you ever fight?
all the time. I mean, we wouldn't be sisters if we don't
I know,
fight.
I would fight with mine too. So this would be a dish that you would feed like to your kids. Yeah. Are there any of your foods that they're like, Mom, please don't make blah, blah, blah?
Oh, absolutely, all the time, all the time.
Do you really just want me to like rub in there?
Get in there.
Okay.
Get in there.
Here we go. Just like,
Your hands are gonna smell so good.
You don't show this part on the videos, do you?
Sometimes.
Because it's gonna be messy.
Usually
and-
wear black gloves. We're just letting you just get in there.
I
with
like
your...
it, like a home cook would. Okay, I feel like we're good.
So we're gonna take parchment paper, kind of crumple it up a little bit,
Is that a Hansen hack that we've used for baking? I think it is.
and then we just kind of nestle it into our baking dish, cover our chicken and our potatoes, and then we're gonna take our foil and then just cover it all up. And this just really helps get all of that flavor. Exactly.
We're gonna put it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes, and then we'll remove the foil and just put it on broil for 5 minutes
Okay.
until it gets nice and crispy.
Love it. I just need to talk about this chicken for a second. It is really luscious. Like all of that marinade has created this like saucy, juicy situation for the potatoes. The chicken looks really well done, and the smell is so delicious. This is actually an easy weeknight meal.
Yeah,
Like
it
because
really is.
besides the time that it had to cook, it wasn't hard to put it together. You just put all that stuff in a blender and go.
And you can meal prep it ahead of time the night before.
I feel pretty special that I get to eat your pretty delicious Food Dolls chicken. Okay, so I'm gonna try to go in.
Well,
and,
don't forget the potato.
Yeah,
And don't burn your tongue, because it's real hot.
I know it's like steaming. Okay, we're trying to cool it down. How would you describe the flavors before I eat it?
Oh my goodness.
It's very savory. It's
yep.
got that hint of sweetness from the pomegranate molasses, and very flavorful.
Feels like a garden in your mouth, I think.
Is it pretty delicious?
It's kind of a little spicy from the jalapeno,
Yep.
but also that sumac has kind of a nice brightness to it. It really tastes kind of like super fresh salsa and chicken.
Yep.
It's quite good. And really, if I was just by myself, I'd get a glass of wine, I would sit down and I would finish all this chicken.
Oh, we are so happy to hear that.
It is a really lovely bite, but it's also like a super easy family meal, which I like that too.
Agreed.
You guys killed it. And Rachel, do you just want to wave? Rachel, our food helper in the back there, who's been kind of going in and out.
Yep.
It has really been a delight to be in your kitchen. You guys have just blown up the internet, and I don't know. I'm proud of you. Is that weird to say, like your moms or something?
We love that. We so appreciate
It's just,
it.
yeah, you work so hard. Like creators work really hard, and a lot of the work we do is like in silence in our kitchens at home.
for sure.
You're just killing it. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
so
Thank you,
appreciate
Stephanie.
that. Thank
You're
you.
my new favorite taste buds.
Thank you. Yay.
Yeah, we gotcha. All right, so go and get the Pretty Delicious book. Communicate with them. Tell them how you like their recipes. You can find them on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah. DM us anytime and we'll message you back.
Yep.
You guys, they are so delightful, and they really will DM you if you try to reach out to them about their recipes. Now it's time to go to my house, and we're gonna make their Egyptian orzo pasta, and then I'm gonna take one of their recipes and really put my own spin on it and make it my own. Are you ready, taste buds? Let's go. All right, we are back from the Food Dolls house, and that was just like the best shoot ever. They were so nice. I loved being at their house. I love seeing kind of the behind the scenes of how they do the process. Just think about this. Between like all of the individual social media assets, 8 million followers. Like, that's a small country, which is very cool. So we are gonna go ahead and make a recipe from their cookbook, Pretty Delicious. It is an Egyptian orzo pasta. So we're gonna put 2 tablespoons of butter into our pot, and we're gonna go ahead and toast the orzo. Orzo is pasta. It's just little teeny tiny pasta. So toasting the orzo is gonna give us a little more flavor. You're supposed to toast it for like 4 to 5 minutes. I love the smell of butter. It's like it wakes up your palate. It's like, ooh, what's next? What's coming next in your magic pot, Mrs. Hansen? If I start talking about myself in the third person, please be concerned. So our pasta is taking on a little bit of color. Can you see the nice brown, nutty pasta? Oh, look at that. Very nutty. Buttery. Buttery. I sound like Homer Simpson. Buttery. And we're gonna just set our pasta aside. Our next step is going to be to add our olive oil, our onion, and I'm also gonna add my red pepper. All right, we are getting some translucent on the onions. Our peppers are cooking. I'm gonna go ahead and add a pound of ground beef. They like lean, so lean can be, I think, 90%. I typically do 80%. I like a little more fat. And this is gonna be a 1-pot dish that's gonna finish cooking in the oven. So we're just trying to get the meat browned. I saved the garlic to last only because my heat source here runs high and I don't wanna burn it. Because when you burn garlic, it gets a little bitter. So I'm gonna put it in right at the end before I put the rest of our ingredients in. We are also gonna add 3 teaspoons of salt, which made me very happy. I'm also gonna add pepper, maybe 1.5 teaspoons. I ground it fresh. And then tomato paste. And you have to cook tomato paste. You're cooking off kind of that acidic flavor because it's so concentrated. And then we're going to add their secret ingredient, which I think is gonna make everything so delicious. It's about 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. And everything just got real fragrant, warm, delicious between the tomato paste, the cinnamon. From here, we're gonna add our orzo back in. We're also gonna add 4 cups of, in their recipe, they use chicken broth. I happen to have beef broth handy, and the orzo is gonna expand because of all this delicious broth. So let's get everything snuggled in. One thing I like to do, if you add a little bit of foil first, you get a really good seal so that a lot of the steam stays in your dish. I've got my oven preheated to 350 and just kind of crinkling this up here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this in 30 to 35 minutes. So I'm gonna put my kitchen timer on. Okay, taste buds, we have our Egyptian orzo pasta in the oven. And while that's in the oven, I wanted to do something a little different for Alia and Radwa. We made their delicious feta dip. I was thinking about it when I got home and I thought that would be a really delicious baked pasta dish. We're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna first put just 1/4 cup of olive oil. I'm going to juice 1/2 of a lemon, a little salt, a little pepper. I'm gonna add honey. And what's gonna happen is we're gonna put tomatoes down. And I used about 1.5 cups. And then I have a room temperature brick of feta and a room temperature brick of cream cheese. This is gonna be so creamy and delicious. So let's go ahead and get this in the oven. Do your thing, tomatoes. Okay, taste buds, one of the things that the Food Dolls do really well, they always use a lot of fresh herbs. So we're gonna get 1/4 cup of basil for our pasta dish. I just roll my basil leaves, kind of stack them and roll them. Chiffonade is the technical term. And if you have an herb that you really love, you could add it. If you have one that you're not really feeling it, use something else. That's the beauty of fresh herbs. You can really do whatever feels good to you. They also use a lot of mint. I absolutely love mint in food. Something about it just really always makes it feel fresh and bright. This is just parsley, and parsley is the hardiest herb that we used here. All right, the Egyptian orzo is ready to check. Oh, and look at our little tomatoes down there, looking so good. You guys, the smell-o-vision on this, the cinnamon, woo! Ready? Hello, steamy. All of the liquid has evaporated into the vegetables, the meat, the orzo, and it just smells cinnamony and warm and lovely. Yum, food dolls, this is gonna be so good. I can't believe like we're friends. Put a little parsley on it. It's like the classic Midwestern casserole, but it's got the Egyptian flair, the food dolls flair. I'm gonna put a few bits of salt. Okay, we're done. That looks like it's gonna just be an awesome, easy weeknight meal. Are we ready to try it, taste buds? Wow. So love that cinnamon in there with the tomato paste, with the orzo, with the ground beef, the red pepper and the onion give it just a little bit of snap. It's super delicious. And this is a dish too that I think kids would really like. Oh, that was so good. All right, taste buds, it is time to get our tomato and cheese basically out of the oven. What we've got here is our cherry tomatoes that have wilted down and are giving up their juice, our feta, which is creamier, and then our cream cheese, which is really gonna bring it home. There's one more ingredient, 1/3 of a cup of sour cream. I'm just gonna go ahead and eyeball that. Woo, excuse you. Kind of mudge the tomatoes down a little bit. Not an official word, but these cheeses are melding into a sauce with the tomatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and add, I use penne. You can use penne, mostaccioli. I used a whole package, and get this tossed together, and we are gonna garnish it with all those fresh herbs that we cut up. We are gonna add our basil, some mint, and some parsley. That's gonna give us just a final bomb of flavor and that freshness that I feel like those food dolls recipes always end with. Just give it a little bit of the salt, and that is gonna make a delicious, perfect bite. Shall we see how we did? Wow. It is like the Mediterranean on a summer afternoon, because those tomatoes, the flavor was really concentrated down into that olive oil, and that just burst of freshness that you get from the herbs too. And then there's that like saltiness from the feta, and of course the creaminess from the cheese. Super fun, and if I do say so myself, girls, pretty delicious. Maybe this will be in their next book, we'll see. What an excellent day we had with the food dolls, and hopefully you will try some of the recipes from their pretty delicious cookbook. You can find it anywhere you find your books. And if you want to make this recipe that I made from their pretty delicious inspiration, go to fox9.com/tastebuds. Cheers, taste buds. Here's to you.